Thanks, Kirk. Good morning, everyone. A funeral will be held later this morning for a Cornwall man killed in last Sunday's derailment in Burlington, Ontario. 40-year-old Patrick Robinson was training with two other Via Rail engineers when their locomotive derailed. All three were killed. Robinson's funeral will be held at St. Peter's Church in Cornwall at 11 a.m. Via Rail will also hold 3 minutes of silence today before sounding their train whistles at 3:26 p.m., the time the train went off the tracks. Meanwhile, investigators say excessive speed caused the train to crash. The locomotive's black box recorded the train going 4 times the speed limit when it went off the tracks. Investigators are now trying to find out why the experienced engineers were traveling so fast and why they didn't brake before the crash. Charges have been laid against an OC Transpo driver in a transitway crash last month. On February 7th, 2 buses collided near Tunney's Pasture Station. 12 people were hurt and the collision backed up rush hour traffic. 64-year-old driver Merrick Morgan has been charged with not giving reasonable time to make a left turn. Because the transitway isn't a public road, he was charged under a city bylaw rather than the Highway Traffic Act. The charge carries a $125 fine. Ontario's premier went online to ask teachers in the province to accept a wage freeze.
Because salaries account for most of that education funding, we're going to be asking all those working in education to do their part to help us slow down spending.
Dalton McGuinty released this YouTube video earlier this morning. McGuinty asks teachers to help reduce spending and protect education in the video. McGuinty says teachers need to accept a 2-year wage freeze and changes to their sick leave plan in order to keep class sizes small. Iran's nuclear capabilities will be up for discussion today as the prime ministers of both Israel and Canada meet. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has just arrived at the Ottawa International Airport for a 3-day visit to Canada. He'll sit down with Prime Minister Stephen Harper to discuss Iran's nuclear facilities and the growing crisis in Syria. After his trip to Canada, Netanyahu will travel on to Washington for talks with U.S. President Barack Obama. Canada's Human Resources Minister says the retirement age can stay where it is for at least another 10 years. Diane Finlay says only countries in deep financial trouble need to adjust their seniors' benefits within a decade, and Canada is on solid financial footing. But other government sources say the leading policy option is to raise the age of retirement from 65 to 67. Well, a couple from Limoges is doing their 649 happy dance this morning as they are $11 million richer. With more on this story, we go live to reporter Melissa Lamb. What a lucky couple, Melissa.
Indeed. And Annette, you know, a loonie doesn't get you very much nowadays, but imagine what 11 million loonies can buy you. Well, that's the reality of a couple from our area this morning. Now, Renee and Suzanne Longprix are the latest lotto winners in our area, and here's the couple picking up their $11 million check yesterday. They are from Limoges, which is about 40 minutes southeast of Ottawa. Now, the couple has been playing the lottery for years, but were still in shock when they found out they actually won.
No doubt I was stunned, and there's no way, you know. So I looked at the numbers. My wife was at the other end of the store. I called her. I said, we got to go home. That was it. We got home. We couldn't sleep since.
I had a basket full of stuff. And when you told me this, I just sort of abandoned everything in the aisle. You gave me the ticket, I stuffed it in my purse, I grabbed onto it, and I said, let's go home. I just left everything there. People are watching, saying, she's crazy. She just sort of just walked right out.
Crazy lucky, I think. And now the couple is planning a trip to Hawaii, and tonight's Lotto Max is $30 million. And we want to know what you would buy if you actually won the lottery. And you can find us on Facebook at CTV Ottawa Morning Live. Annette?
All right, thanks for that, Melissa.